What I want to show you is the wealth building opportunities that residential real estate can bring you, whether it's local residential real estate or out of town, wherever. The principles are pretty much all the same. And what we're going to do is go through this book. The book was written with interviews from 120 millionaire real estate investors, people who either own or receive $1 million a year from their real estate investments. And they interviewed these guys and found that they all have models and systems. And obviously we can't go through all the models and systems that are in the book in 90 minutes, but I can give you an overview of a couple of them. So it's all about financial wealth. And financial wealth, according to the book, is the unearned income to finance your life mission without having to work. And it's the unearned part that's important. So in the terms of residential investment real estate, it's positive cash flow, the unearned income, or it's equity build-up, one or the other. And we'll go into those in a lot more detail later. So the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Investor book is dedicated to men and women who have a passion for their work yet dream of someday achieving financial independence, someday being able to finance their mission in life without having to work. The book's dedicated to all those who want the biggest life possible, actively seeking ways to finance that vision, who want to go as far as possible with as few roadblocks as possible, and who want to say that at the end of the day, I'm glad I did instead of I wish I had. And that's just taken straight out of the book. So when you start something new in life, you can begin in one of two ways. You can begin with trial and error, and you sort of take a few steps forwards, a few steps back, and you move up and you move sideways, and eventually you hit your natural ceiling of achievement, and you sort of can't go any further until you learn some models and that kind of thing. And that's the purpose of this book. If you have the proven models and you can begin taking action based on proven models, then you can reach your highest level of achievement with a lot less roadblocks and in a lot less time. It's kind of like in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the same thing, going through. So for real estate investors, in order to repeat what they do, we need to understand the foundational model of these millionaire real estate investors. And through their interviews, they found that they have three sort of basic things that make up the foundation of their business. And the first one is their criteria. Criteria are things about a property that you can't change. Things like location. If it's a brick house or a vinyl sided house, the things you can't negotiate about the house. And criteria are the things that really make or break you in a real estate investment transaction. A lot of people who stumble with real estate investing, they'll stumble because they don't have firm criteria set in their head. I have one young couple right now I'm working with, and she wants fixer-uppers as a summer project. She's a figure skating coach. He loves to play golf. He wants to buy 5-year-old freehold townhouses because they'll just pay for themselves and he'll never have to do anything. So between the two of them, they're kind of stuck, in an impasse, and so they haven't really come up with a clearly defined criteria. They're sort of looking all over the place. And I contrast that with a friend of mine in Kitchener who owns 200 houses, and he has a very, very defined criteria. It's less than 200,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, can rent for X amount of money per month, and anything else he just doesn't touch. He's 30 years old, he owns a couple of hundred houses, mainly because he just sort of focused on what he knows will make him the money he wants to make. So criteria are the first step, and they're really the most important step. The next part of the foundational model is the terms, and terms are the negotiable parts of a real estate deal. The price, closing costs, will a seller pay some of the closing costs? The closing date, vendor take-back mortgages, those sorts of things, they're the terms. And it's negotiating the terms on properties that meet your criteria is where you can really make a great deal out of something that may not be an excellent deal just looking at it. Terms come from the motivation of the seller, whether the seller is a bank or an individual.